All right, everyone. Here with Mike Papuc, who is our National Sales Director for Health, all things health. And we're talking today about the status of ACA. We're launching this the morning of finding out the right and the left seem to have found a compromise on this government shutdown. More to come. As you all know, ACA has been kind of the main topic of that. Mike, you came to me last week and said, I really want to put out a message right now to agents about how they should be looking at this. And I just want to give you the opportunity to make your pitch here.
Absolutely. So we know that we're amongst what period of time? The open enrollment period. And usually during open enrollment period, that is a time for all of us to go out there and know and understand all the options that are available to our consumers and what can we do to ultimately put them on a plan that meets both benefits and budget in mind in general. So here we are. I've been talking to some partners as far as understanding perspectives that are out there, because you and I both know there has just been a lot of change that's been happening in our industry. Yep. And a lot of things that at first seemed as if like, wow, hold on, what is actually going on in the market in general? Yep. Where it would leave a lot of people to say, you know what, maybe this is not for me. I'm just going to take a step back, or worst case scenario, I'm not even going to offer anything at this point to help my consumer right now. Yeah. So a lot of the partners I've been talking to have been giving me the idea that, you know what, until we know what's going on with the government, until we know what's going on with the enhanced subsidies, I'm just going to leave this at bay.
Just kind of wait.
Yeah. And to me, that just screams a lot of missed potential in general, right? So here's a message I just want to give everybody on how to still make open enrollment a great season, even though, hey, you know what? We might be still waiting for some additional news or some additional clarification in general. So point number one, just know that this is your business, okay? And what do I mean by that is you should be going out there and helping people out regardless of what's going on in the industry in general. Know, understand what their needs are, know and understand what changes that might be happening in their life, and go out there and still take care of them. Because as a former agent myself, if I did not take care of them today, chances are they're going to talk to someone else. Yeah. And that someone else is going to do what? Take care of them.
Yep.
And they're going to put them on a plan that they feel meets their benefits and budget in mind, versus coming to you, the professional, to take care of them right away. Yeah. So the practical takeaway, guys, I would say until we know some finality as to what's going on in our industry, I would say break your book down into a few different segments to ultimately take care of your people. The first people you should be talking to are the people that qualify for cost share reductions, that 100 to 250% range. Yeah. We know that there are still, surprise, surprise, $0 plans to be had in this market. Right. And I got a lot of calls from people just saying, hey, Mike, what's going on? Because we thought $0 plans were going away. And guess what? I did too. So when I was running the numbers from El Paso to San Antonio to the Valley, it was fantastic to see that there were still $0 options that were still affordable for the people that still want to maintain a $0 cost. Yeah. So for example, if you're in that range, I would still make sure that we look at silver level plans. So maybe for a 45-year-old making $20,000 a year, they're going to be running at about maybe $33 to maybe about $50 a month for a silver level plan. Now, if 33 to 50 is still unaffordable for that single adult, sure, you could look at a bronze level plan. That's going to cost them $0. Just be aware of what those out of pockets look like. But even better, because of silver loading that we've dealt with now for many years, there are gold level plans to be had also at $0. So don't automatically go to bronze. Make sure you're looking at gold as well to see what's available for your consumers. Yeah. Better quality, better deductibles, and more copay forward in general to cover those out of pockets much better. So then you look at people that are above the 250, so they don't qualify for CSRs, to 400, right? That's going to be the next segment of the book that you want to start taking care of right away, because they're still going to receive financial help. I would still look at bronze, silver, gold all together, but running some rates in general. I would say probably the responsibility for that single adult is going to range anywhere from $80 to about $150 to $200, okay? I would say bronze is going to be a play, but also gold is going to be play. Silver level plans are still going to be more costly and not as benefit driven. Okay. Then you have the next segment of your book, which is your 400% people, 400 and above. That segment itself, that's something we can discover down the road a little bit. Make sure you take care of those first two segments. And then this final segment, that's where you can break down towards this is my unhealthy people and this is my healthy group of people. For your healthy group of people, I would definitely say make sure that you know what options are available to you. And here at the brokerage, we're currently working on bringing some additional options to the table, alternate solutions that are actually going to be very much worthwhile for those consumers, both cost effective as well as benefit driven. You can look at short-term medical as a potential solution. You could also look at products such as Affordable Choice with Manhattan or even Health Protector Guard with United Health One. Both choices are going to be pretty solid in general as far as what they can do. Make sure you know and understand towards what the needs of the consumer is. Ask the right question. If there's going to be a high usage, please don't put them on the highest deductible plan or the lowest cash level indemnity type of plan. Make sure you find something that makes sense for what their needs are. So that way you're putting them on a plan that makes sense down the road. So that's your healthy group. And then the unhealthy group, that's a tough one, right? Yeah. Because we don't know what's going on with the enhanced subsidies in general, but still the first thing that you should be doing is talking ACA, even if it's at a bronze level plan, and trying to keep things as affordable as possible, or even looking at catastrophic ACA type plans as well. I would say those plans at that age group probably start at about $400 a month.
Okay. So if I hear you correctly, you're saying, a lot of your current book that you already have, we know a lot of who the ACA marketplace clients tend to be in the lower tiers anyway.
Correct.
They still have pretty good options. Who's really getting pushed out of the market, and surprise, surprise, this tends to be the case here, is kind of that middle income group of people. They are not going to qualify for some subsidies most likely, and the costs are going up. So in those cases, we have some creative solutions we can help people with, and your health team can educate folks on that too.
Absolutely.
So Mike and I were talking before we pressed record, like what is the overall outlook of this? And we're not prophets over here. We can't know the future. But just doing a little bit of research into what the debate actually is behind the scenes, one thing that is encouraging is whether someone's on the left or the right, both parties seem to agree that there is a need for a program for people to shop for individual coverage and a mechanism for helping them pay for it. They each have different ideas of how that should look, but they both agree that as a society, we need to have these programs to help people shop for individual coverage. And that's something that I personally didn't realize was even happening, that debate.
Same.
But apparently that debate has been going on, and that's very encouraging. First of all, just as an American citizen, but also as an agent. So this whole idea that there's just going to be nothing is unlikely, because at the end of the day, like these representatives, they do have to answer to their constituents, and people are going to be hurt by some of the changes this year.
I couldn't agree more with that. And it's great to hear that there is something potentially coming down the pipe to help out from an affordability perspective. ACA, as great as it has been probably for like well over a decade at this point, it still has some flaws in general. I mean, we're seeing just general costs increase year over year, just the cost of the plan. So whether if you qualify for subsidy or not, there's still a hidden cost back there.
Yep.
So your average cost is reaching close to, depending on the state, even $700 to $800 in some cases for an average cost to just go on and get a health plan.
Right.
And for families out there, I'm hearing stories right now where my original plan was $2,800. It's now going up to $4,200. And to me, it's kind of like that's 2 to 3 mortgages for some people. It's absolutely insane. It's almost like, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place at that point.
Yeah, because you're like, you have this temptation to think, well, I could just self-fund my health, but but also no, because one bad thing could be $300,000 or something. That's just a ridiculous choice to have to make in this modern society.
What do? Do I put food on the table? Do I pay the mortgage? Do I have to do something along the lines to even afford health insurance in general?
Yeah.
So it's exciting to hear that there are potentially additional options that might be coming to the fold here.
Yeah.
As far as when or how,
I would think they would have to act pretty fast, because 1 year like this is going to be rough on a lot of people. And I think that brings it back to just the agents, right? If you think of yourself as an independent, which you are an independent, remember, regardless of what happens with the market itself, if you've built relationships with your clients, you're their agent. Like, you don't have to defend any of this nonsense. Like, you can literally say, yeah, I work for you. I don't work for the government. I don't work for the insurance companies. I work for you. And yeah, this sucks right now, you know.
it sure does.
But stick with me. I'm going to stick with you. We may have a rough year here, but I want to maintain this relationship with you, because I'm optimistic that better things are ahead, and I would like to be your agent for the long haul. Right?
And what are the key steps there, right? Number one, it's going to be education, even on an agent perspective. So if you want to make sure that you are taking care of your consumer, you have to think beyond ACA. You have to think beyond Medicare. You need to make sure you're going out there and understanding the suite of solutions that are available depending on your consumer's needs. I would go to kickoff events with the brokerage. And I would ask two questions, and I believe you would see this. Number one, how many salespeople do I have in the room? And then you would have some people that raise their hands. And then the next question would be, how many of you do a needs analysis? And then all of a sudden, you would see probably about only 10 or 15% of the people keep their hands up. I think the introduction of ACA in general, because of the fact that it's all guaranteed issue, just go here, pick a plan, here are the prices, what do you feel is going to be best for you? Let's look at your doctors that you want to keep, prescriptions that you take. Now you're going to have to make sure as an agent, not only are you getting educated on alternate solutions that are going to be viable at this time of year, but also at the same time, conduct the needs analysis so you know how it's going to work for them as well. Needs analysis is going to be essential to promoting value versus a $0 cost.
Yep. Yeah, I think it makes sense. I mean, as with anything in the world right now, whether you're talking about AI technology or healthcare, we're in a very transitional moment, I think, as a society. And we feel that in all industries. We just feel that as people. But we're here talking to agents. That's our job, right? That's the vertical that we live in this incredible world. So that being said, one thing I appreciate about you is you're very optimistic, right? Some of us tend to be super realist, almost to where it becomes negative, and some are super optimistic, and then there's some middle ground in between there that I think is just right. You need people kind of contributing to both pieces of that discussion. But you're very optimistic, and I think there's reason to be optimistic in terms of thinking long game. Recognizing that right now is all over the place. But as Mike said, there's a good chance the majority of the people in your existing book, they're still going to get their subsidies.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, to just share with you guys as far as how we're starting off this open enrollment, because we have heard from carriers, we've heard from CMS, just in general, what this season could look like without the enhanced subsidies. So you and I have both talked about this, like a 30% market shrink in general. And that really just goes back to the fact as far as just there was an affordability issue that can come into place. Yep. I've also received calls from partners that are saying, hey, are these the subsidies that I see right now, are they true? Well, yeah, those are the subsidies. Those are the original subsidies. They're like, it's way better than what we expected.
Right.
Good. Now go out there and take care of people.
Right.
And to share some really positive news, here at the brokerage, we're seeing more membership enrollments than ever before. Yeah. So a year-over-year perspective, for that first week of open enrollment, we're seeing a 66% gain currently as far as what the enrollments look like. So please, I would say take care of your people now. Don't wait until the last minute. Don't put your book in peril. Don't be that type of person that all of a sudden it's that final week of that deadline for January 1st and you're waiting for something and that something never arrived. And all of a sudden you have to enroll 100, 200, 300 people in a few days, which is an impossibility in general. Be smart with your book. Segment it out like I mentioned earlier. Take care of those people as far as what their needs are, and anybody else that you might need to make an adjustment because who knows, maybe enhanced subsidies do come back. But that entire vote with what we saw with the government reopening, that's not going to happen until December. And once that gets implemented, what is that all going to look like? What is the final phase going to look like? So if there's any adjustments that need to be made down the road, take care of your people now, but make those adjustments in January.
Yep.
And if you do it this way, it'll be few and far between versus all of a sudden last minute panic. Oh, I already lost a bit of my book because they went elsewhere as well because I was not confident in taking care of my consumers.
Yep. Think long term, play the long game. You are there to serve the people that you serve as their independent agent for a reason. Independent agent. I would, and I don't have any insider knowledge, but I would assume part of the reason that both sides were willing to compromise last night or whatever this was, I guess it was last night.
It was. They held the vote late into the night.
Is probably because it sounds like some people on the right did say, okay, well, here's a proposal, which means like we're not just going to throw away the healthcare discussion.
Correct.
We're willing to have the discussion. What will come of that is yet to be seen. We don't know.
I just know government reopened. There's no talks about the enhanced subsidies just yet. So we know where we're at. Let's just go out there and take care of people the best that we can. Let's not wait.
Don't wait. That's the message.
That's right.
All right. Anything else?
Thank you.
All right. We'll close with that.
Yes.